it's Kim, and I'm back for another week of 10-minute tips for your relationships. 10 minutes. So, this week I want to talk about something really serious. I want to talk about trust in your relationship. Yes, I want to talk about 5 kinds of trust that should exist in a marriage relationship. Yes. First, I want to tell you just to give you a simple definition of what trust is. So, trust is having the confidence or faith or hope in someone or something. Yes, having confidence in another person, faith in them, or hope in another person. Trust that they're going to do the right things, that they're going to love you, that they're going to treat you correctly, right? So these are some of the things that we have to trust in our relationships. So, first, I want to start with saying that the very first type of trust in a relationship is being faithful sexually. Yeah, intimately. Being faithful sexually. That's important. That's huge. That's an important thing in a marriage relationship, knowing that your partner is not going to run out on you, that they're not going to cheat on you, that they're not going to turn to another person to get their needs met. And sometimes people will use that as an excuse. Well, I'm not getting my needs met. Well, sometimes that's not necessarily a physical or a sexual issue. Sometimes that's a communication issue, not getting your needs met. Sometimes we're not telling the other person what it is that we need or how we need it. So if we want our mate to be faithful to us sexually, intimately. We want to make sure that we both trust each other intimately. Because being unfaithful sexually or intimately is not necessarily always just, having a sexual relationship outside of the marriage. Nowadays with social media, you can have an intimate relationship right there online. Some people, what they say, slide into other folks' inbox and have all these kind of conversations that are inappropriate and unnecessary for a married person. Yeah. So let's not let social media, Facebook and Instagram and all these other things that are out there that could be used as great tools of communication, but sometimes we can use them and they can be the detriment of a relationship. So come on, let's not allow social media to kill our relationships. Let's keep it on the up and up. And social media, as well as getting into physical relationships outside of your marriage. Your mate should be able to trust that you are going to remain faithful to him, to her, sexually, intimately. It's important. And then number 2, trusting that your mate won't harm you. Yeah, we hear a lot about domestic violence in relationships, in marriages. And sometimes it is the silent killer of a relationship and a silent killer of people. Why? Because sometimes we're so embarrassed by the things that are taking place in our relationships behind closed doors, the violence that takes place, that we're not telling anyone. Or maybe we're afraid to tell someone. We're afraid that more harm is going to come to us, or harm is going to come to someone that we love if we report that type of activity in our relationship. Look, if you're suffering from domestic violence, there are many hotlines out there. Call somebody. Talk to a trusted friend. Talk to your pastor. Start working on a plan to get out of that type of relationship. You don't deserve it. Then number 3, we should trust that our mate loves us with no ulterior motives. What do you mean by that? Meaning that they're not loving us or in a relationship with us because of our looks, because of our money, because of our education, or this one, because they just don't want to be alone. Yeah, I don't want anyone to be with me because they don't want to be alone. No, We should be in our love relationships, or we should be able to trust that our mate is with us because they genuinely love us, because they are attracted to us, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, that there's a connection there, not because of the way we look or the fact we have money or the things that we can do or they can do for us or we can do for them. No, those are not the reasons that we should be in our love relationships. Yeah, we should be in those relationships because we love each other. Yes. All right, number four. Number four, we should trust that our mate is not going to abandon us. Yeah. Some people come into relationships with abandonment issues. Yes, because they've been left before, or maybe in their family, their parents, they've been abandoned by people who were supposed to take care of them. But we should trust that our mate is not going to just leave us if they get angry or if we have conflict, we disagree about something. We shouldn't feel afraid that our mate is going to leave us. We should always feel that we can be what we call hot, honest, open, and transparent. That we should be able to talk about our issues and our frustrations and different things that are taking place in the relationship without the fear that our mate is going to leave us. Yeah, but we should feel secure that even though we're having a hard time, we're going through a rough patch, that we're going to hang in there, we're going to stick with each other, we're going to give each other some cooling off period or time, and then we're going to come back to the issue at hand. But no one should feel afraid that their mate is just going to take off and leave because they're not getting along. All right, number five. We should be able to trust in our relationships that our mate, that we are going to keep our marriage top priority. Yes, top priority over our friends, over our extended family, top priority, even top priority over our children. Oh, I know I ruffled some feathers there. Yes, but it is so important that as couples with children, that we become marriage-centric, relationship-centric, and not child-centric. Now let me unwrap that just a bit. When our children are young, all my kids are adults with the exception of one, but when the majority of the children were young and they were in football and cheerleading and all the different things for school, we did a lot of running around. We had to attend a lot of school meetings and just did a lot of things for the kids. But the one thing that should always remain in a relationship, even though you have children, is time for you and your mate. Yeah, we shouldn't get so caught up in the kids' things that we don't attend to ourselves as a couple. And that's what happens in relationships sometimes. Sometimes we lose ourselves as a couple because we're so busy running around taking care of these kids. So I teach the couples this in our classes, that we should be marriage-centric and not child-centric, because these kids, let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to grow up and they're going to go away. Well, we say hopefully, but at any rate, they're going to grow up and they're going to get into their own relationships. And guess what? They're not going to be giving you all that attention that you gave them when they were little. Yeah, they're going to be moving on with their life. And so it's really important that we know and understand that our relationship is numero uno, that it takes priority over all other relationships. And then I just want to point out a few things before I end. These are things that will build the trust in a relationship. Yeah, just a few things that'll build the trust. Love, security, safety, security and knowing that your mate is caring for you, nurturing, understanding, affirming, support, and significance.